When it comes to ad creative, which one's better, images or videos?
Let's talk about that.
So Archie, we're back here in the T-Talk set.
Quite nice to be back.
It is nice. Yeah, it's been a while actually since we did our last one. Yeah, and that was your first one.
A couple of months ago now.
Yeah. So how are you? And you're actually now solely doing the T-Talks editing.
I am.
So how are you finding it? Is it
loving it? Enjoying editing it with a new set.
Yes, it's very nice having those lights,
fun.
especially when they're on.
Very fun.
Yeah. So
it's nice.
I thought I would bring you in on this one because it's an interesting debate about ad creative, in that when you're doing ad creative, you can do things as videos or you can do things as images. Now, I'm very much a video guy.
You are. I still think there's a major importance in static.
Yeah, which is interesting.
Could outweigh it.
Well, we'll see. We'll see.
And that's what we're here
I'd love
for
to
today.
be proven wrong. But yeah, I'm a firm believer that video takes the cake when it comes to ads. I think there's so many reasons. And you've come armed with your phone. You've got some information on there. I'm interested. I think ultimately, at the end of the day, there's a really quick answer to this.
There is definitely.
It depends.
But I think we could share with the viewer a lot of valuable insights and sort of things to think about when they're choosing.
So. I think yes. I think at the end of the day, when it comes to ads, you're probably going to want a bit of both.
Yeah.
Variety is always good, but that's not going to stop us from fighting it out.
No, most definitely not.
So
Never
tell
say no
me,
to a debate.
then, what's your first point? How are you going to say that images are better?
A point that when we proposed this came straight to mind was that there's no chance a viewer is missing anything in a picture. It's in front of them.
Interesting.
They can't miss a call to action. It's there. It's always going to be instantly eye-grabbing because you've picked that picture, which is all that ad is. It's not like the first frame of the video looks rubbish.
There's far less chance that they're going to not see the whole thing if they see it immediately.
Exactly. There's no chance they're missing a call to action.
Yeah. Interesting. Very interesting. Well, I would say, I mean, they do say a picture paints 1,000 words.
There we go.
But videos are at least 24 pictures a second.
Yeah, there is that.
So how many words are you painting in that?
Quite. So that is an interesting thing.
I find that is really, really interesting. I think it's a good point. I think you could argue that if your video is not capturing the attention as much as an image is, maybe you're just using the wrong video. Yeah,
and to argue against myself a little bit on
that, you're going to do my battle song.
I do think that obviously you should consider that. You should look at it from that first frame as a static ad almost.
Yes.
Because
I would always say within the first 2 to 3 seconds, something needs to happen where you almost go, if they only see that, that's okay.
Yeah.
Which is why it's almost important to start with a call to action. Even if it's not your main call to action, it's important to start with something that people can watch just a couple of seconds and they can leave knowing something that you're going to want them to know to go to that next step.
Definitely.
Okay, so I've got some interesting stats here. So did you know that by 2025, which we are now in, marketers are spending roughly just under £500 billion on video.
Wow.
So it can't be wrong if there's that much money being spent on it.
There's a lot.
And I think that just goes to show the value that there is in it.
Yeah. But I think that also shows how expensive video can be.
Wow.
To get good, high-quality adverts.
You're not wrong. Video can be expensive.
Yeah.
It depends on who you go to.
It does.
And it really, people can charge a lot for video. I like to think that we do an extremely good deal.
I think we do, yeah.
Because we don't charge by the video. We have monthly retainers with our clients, as you know, and
which is great because if we're better at our job, they don't have to pay anymore. It's just we do more in that time allocated.
And the beautiful thing about what we do is that like we care so much about our clients.
We do.
We
care.
We care.
We care.
We want to grow their brands just as much as they do. So for us, it's not about like how much video you're going to get in a certain time frame. Now, of course, we do set allocated days to creative. We're not just working constantly because there's only so much time in the day. But I think the point I'm trying to make is it doesn't have to cost a lot of money.
No, it doesn't have to cost a lot of money. And at the end of the day, I always quite like to look at the perspective of a small business because that's where it's simplified most and cost is a lot more important.
Yeah.
Like everything matters more, doesn't it? It's more variable.
It is. And I think also what's important to know is that if you want to do it yourself, there are a lot of ways to reduce the cost.
That's what, as I was going to say, I mean, everyone has one of these.
Everyone
that
does.
Films in 4K now and takes great pictures.
You can do so much with a phone. I actually watched a video on YouTube last night, which was a very high production sort of short film with like use of CGI and all of that sort of stuff. It was all filmed on an iPhone and it looked incredible. Yeah. So there are lots of ways to get around the cost. And I would also argue that photography is also expensive if you go to people who charge a lot.
It definitely can be, yes.
At the end of the day, you need a lot of equipment to do a lot of this stuff at a high budget.
Yeah.
Even the way that we do this in front of us, we don't just have one camera, we have three.
Quite a bit of money in front of us, isn't
we
there,
have
to be fair.
Nice lights. We even have the lights behind us as well. There is
mics on,
mics
connected to the cameras.
Connected to the cameras. There's a lot of money been spent just for this setup.
Yeah.
And we're not even using these for ads.
No, we're not.
So but then I know I'm going to say it a lot in this episode, but it really does depend.
It does
on what you're trying to go for, because we've talked about before about the idea of authenticity as well.
Yeah.
And authenticity is often much easier to achieve with low budget content.
Before we go any further, if you're enjoying today's Tea Talk, you'll love our Grow with Evergreen podcast. Specifically created for home, garden, and lifestyle brands, it's a podcast dedicated to discussing paid media and marketing. Every episode, we're joined by a brand that wants to grow online. We delve into their business, dissect what they're doing, and define a digital growth strategy they can take and deploy into their business. And best of all, you get to listen or watch along, then take those learnings into your own business. Make sure you check it out on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. But for now, let's get back to today's Tea Talk.
And I would agree, authenticity is better communicated through video.
It is.
However,
it is. He's doing it for me. I'm not even having to fight this battle.
I think you will agree with this, that people with phones take a lot better pictures than they do videos.
Yes, they do. I would say that video it has a much higher barrier to entry than images. I think people with phones are taking a lot more photos than videos.
Yeah. I think it's a lot common to see, on Instagram or something, just your friend posting a really nice picture, and then there's a video, and it starts on the floor, someone's head's chopped off.
Yeah. You know what I don't get, and this is a top tip for anyone looking to take professional photos or videos.
I think I know what this might be.
Don't put the head in the middle of the frame.
Know it.
Don't do it. I see it all the time. There's a reason why the way we framed this. I'm actually going to come down here. I'm not like this for the whole video, because you would have all of this space around. This is a Tea Talk first. I've never left the chair.
It's a little bit strange.
It's a bit strange. I feel a bit odd. I'm going to come back up. There's a reason why we do it the way we do it, because you don't waste all of that space. And unless you're taking a photo specifically with the idea to put a graphic over the top.
Yeah.
And if you want to find out more about that, go and check out Archie's video.
There we go. Look at that. He's smooth, isn't he?
Yeah. Check out that video, because Archie talks about the entire commercial side of taking photos. And it's a beauty to watch, honestly. I know, because I set it him as a photo with them.
He was the invigilator for it.
I was. But yeah, unless you're doing that specifically, please just stop putting your subject's head in the middle of the frame. It's not good. Do it closer to the top. I think... Do you have any other points?
I've got a few others.
Okay.
I've got a few others.
Go for it.
I think it's a lot easier to do put a box with some text on a picture than do okay looking motion graphics on video. As we're talking about this in the context of ads, as we're a marketing agency.
You raise a good point. I will admit to the fact that using text over things, it's usually easier with images than video because you're not having things moving
and
all
making
the
it
time.
look nice.
Yes. Now, there are ways to get around that. And also, I would argue that there are ways to make it look better than it would look on an image. For example, I'll give you a really good example. I'm currently working on a set of ads for one of our hot tub brands. And we've got some lovely footage that they have actually provided, which is an overhead shot of a swim spa. And they've got lots of different shots of people doing different things, but it's all the same shot. And the beauty of that is you have this really nice sort of rectangle swim spa, which you can then rotate if you want it portrait as well. And it gives you a really nice space to put text on and then just change to the different activities while the text is animating in and out. And it looks really nice. And I think if you were to have just a sequence of different images with that, you wouldn't achieve the same effect.
That's a really good point.
I also have one other thing. I would argue that it's far easier, when done right, to tell a story through video than it is through images.
Definitely. 100%.
Specifically for the fact that you can't have audio in an image.
I would say audio, and you're given a lot more chances to capture emotion in video. It's
absolutely.
hard to get that in pictures.
And speaking of emotion, that goes back to the audio with music.
Yes.
You can have music in a video, and specifically not just having music in the background, but you can have music that is tailor-made to fit certain emotional peaks of a video, which will only then emphasize that emotion further. The more I say this, the more I agree with myself. Video is just amazing.
I don't think you can beat simplicity though. I think it's simple, it works. It's reliable.
I have to agree. Simplicity is often the best way to go. And I've seen some of the images that Harriet does for our clients on the ads. And some of my favorite ads that she has made are the ones that are quite simple. Because it's just, there is a certain beauty to it with the simplicity where you just have, some of these shots are just stunning. And then you have a little bit of text, a little bit of color on there as well. And it's all you need.
Can I name drop one?
Yeah.
If you go on our social media, I post a little ad showcase of ads for Garden on a Roll. And they look lovely. They're really nice.
They are very nice.
Yeah, big well done to Harriet there. They're very, very nice adverts.
Absolutely. So I think we've gone back and forth a bit on that. I think ultimately we are going to end up at the point where a world without images is not great.
No.
And a world without video, it's not great either.
Yeah.
So I think we need to settle on a world with both.
It does depend, doesn't it?
It depends on what you want to do.
It depends.
I think ideally you have a little bit of both.
Yeah, use a mix.
You don't want to oversaturate your ads with one type of thing. And that's not even just saying video or images. One type of image, you want to have different types of images as well. You want to have different types of video as well. I think at the end of the day, as I think I have already said on one of the T-Talks we've recorded today, variety is the spice of life.
Ooh. Put that on a t-shirt.
There you go. I've just come up with that right there. Yeah. That's interesting. I'm going to take that one.
But that is a good takeaway for especially small businesses is try to keep it simple. Don't overcomplicate yourself with video editors and trying to make it too flashy and complicated.
If you're just starting out and you feel up to it, try it yourself. You don't need to spend tons of money on CGI.
Definitely.
And I've seen
great
before.
stuff done on phones.
Yeah. Well, that's it.
Yeah.
And be authentic. Talk to the camera. If you're comfortable on camera, talk to the camera. Because we've said it many times, people like people.
And people buy from people.
Yes, they do.
There we go.
And I think that's where we're going to end it. Thank you very much for watching. And if you haven't already, make sure to check out our other content on YouTube or on Spotify. And for now, I will say goodbye, and we will see you next time.